Good evening, Villanova. Welcome to Wildcat Watch Live. I'm Billy McGroarty, here with
Lauren Dugan,
Teddy Powers,
and Jessica Pizzella. So, how was everyone's Thanksgiving?
It was great.
It's fantastic.
Did anyone attempt some Black Friday shopping?
Well, I have a huge fear of angry crowds, so I try and stay away from Black Friday.
well, as a matter of fact, I got this black shirt at Black Friday. What a score. Speaking of scoring, here's Billy with basketball.
Thanks, Teddy. The men's basketball team is in a bit of a rut early this season. Fans were excited to see a 3-0 start, but those games were merely just a warm-up for the Wildcats. Villanova hit the big stage of college basketball when playing at the MSG Varsity 2K Sports Classic semifinals against Purdue. Villanova trailed late in the game, but with some good foul shooting, put the game into overtime. Both guards, Darren Hilliard and Ryan Arcidiacono, combined for 40 points and led the team in scoring, which ended with a Villanova victory 89-81. Villanova then advanced to play in the championship game against Alabama. Unfortunately, Villanova lost to the Crimson Tide 77-55. 4 days after that, the Wildcats headed back home to play Columbia. Nova fell to the Lions 57-75, and with that, they tried to make up for the back-to-back losses against LaSalle in the Philadelphia Big Five tournament. Here, the Wildcats played a very competitive game and were led offensively by the big men Muftau Yaru and Javon Pinkston, who both combined for 39 points and 14 rebounds. Despite the Wildcat effort, the Explorers found a way to pull out a victory over Nova 77-74 in overtime. A 4-3 record is nothing to look down upon, especially since it's early in the season and Coach Wright will definitely have a cure to turn this season around. The women's basketball team holds a 4-1 record at the moment. Just over Thanksgiving break, the Lady Wildcats traveled to Las Vegas for the UNLV Rebel Roundup tournament. The Wildcats beat both Bowling Green and Montana and outscored them 127-91. The team was riding quite the heater in Las Vegas, and the high roller for the Wildcats was most definitely senior forward Laura Sweeney. She put up an average of 14 points a game and came down with an average of 8.5 rebounds last weekend. Her performance was so noteworthy that she was named the Philadelphia Big Five Player of the Week. This leadership is fantastic for the Wildcats, and you know what? It's going to be a great season for the ladies looking ahead. Now over to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Billy. Our football team had a lot to cheer about as they wrapped up their regular season on November 17th with a huge win over rival Delaware with a final score of 41-10. And in the Blue Hen territory, the Cats never trailed on the scoreboard. It took less than 4 minutes for freshman quarterback John Robertson to throw a 13-yard touchdown to senior wide receiver Norman White. Sophomore running back Kevin Manungai and Robertson each ran for over 130 yards. It was a day in history, marking the first time since 1977 and the third time ever that Nova had two players that exceeded 130 rushing yards in the same game. Manungai finished the regular season as the leading rusher in the CAA football with 1,190 rushing yards. But the good news didn't stop there. Andy Talley was named CAA Coach of the Year and Robertson was named Top Offensive Rookie. The team represented the Nova Nation well, registering 12 players on the All-CAA squad. Although the Wildcats earned an automatic bid to the FCS playoffs, the good things must always come to an end as they fell to Stony Brook in the first round 20-10. Still, no one can doubt the Cats had a great year, capturing the conference title for the 6th time in the team's history. November 9th and 11th was the final weekend for the women's volleyball team. Unfortunately, the season did not end on a high note with a 3-0 road loss to Syracuse and a 3-1 home loss to Pittsburgh. In the Syracuse match, senior Krista Anderson was a standout for the night, leading the team with 9 kills. Despite the efforts, the Cats could not find a win at all. Set scores were 25-19, 25-21, and 25-21. Again, the Cards just weren't in their favor as they fell to Pitt here on Sunday in Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. The Cats came out strong, winning the first set, but lost their momentum as Pitt took the next 3 frames. The scores were 25-19, 25-20, and 25-19. This time, the duo of Anderson and freshman Lauren Carpenter led the team with 10 kills. Villanova ended the regular season 11-19 overall. Now, compared to last year when the ladies made it to the Big East quarterfinals, this year may have been a little disappointing, but I know the Cats can take this as a wake-up call and expect more victories next season. Now let's turn it over to Jess.
On Friday, November 16th, men's swimming and diving competed in the Frank Elm Invite in Piscataway, New Jersey. The relay team, made up of Scott Theed, Brandon Clark, Kyle Grant, and Jason Moyer, finished in 4th place with a time of 1 minute and 25.6 seconds. Russell Paulson grabbed the 4th place spot in the 500-yard freestyle, touching the wall with 4 minutes and 35.65 seconds, with his Villanova teammates right behind him. Scott Thede and Paul Sullivan took 5th and 6th place. Ben Smith got his 1st place finish in the 200 individual medley as he crossed the finish line in 1 minute and 55.5 seconds. Jason Moyer notched the 4th place in his 50-yard freestyle with a time of 24.47 seconds. Overall, the Wildcats left with a standing of 3rd place. Way to go, boys. And now here's Teddy with cross country.
At the NCAA Championships on Saturday afternoon, Villanova registered a 27th place finish in the team standings at the EP Tom Sawyer State Park. In his final collegiate college career race, senior Matthew Mildenhall was the Wildcats' top finisher with a time of 30 minutes and 50 seconds on the 10,000-meter course. Though Mildenhall was a top finisher, this team has mostly been carried by freshmen throughout the season. The biggest point for Villanova was being just one of 4 teams from the Big East to compete in the NCAA Championships. Now to Matt with our upcoming games.
Thanks, Teddy. As many Villanova sports found themselves wrapping up their seasons in the past few weeks, there are only a few key games coming up this week for you to see your Wildcats in action. The women's basketball team has 2 key games coming up this week. First, on Thursday night, the Wildcats will be taking on the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh University at the Pavilion. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Then, on Sunday, Villanova will square off against Big East rival LaSalle University again at the Pavilion. Tip-off at 2 p.m. The men's basketball team will look to rebound from their heartbreaking loss at the hands of LaSalle University when they travel to Nashville, Tennessee on Saturday to take on Vanderbilt University at 5. Then the Wildcats return to the Pavilion on Wednesday night to take on crosstown rival Temple University. Be sure to come out and support both Wildcat teams in the coming week. Back to you guys.
Matt, from myself, Billy, Jess, Teddy, and Matt, thanks for tuning in today. And remember, stay Wildcats.